Today I want to talk about the most dangerous mindset you can have as an athlete or ambitious person in general that holds you back from achieving your goals, from being successful and living the life you are dreaming of. And over the years in my practice as a mental performance coach, working together with so many clients, so many athletes, I've identified 3 points that you should definitely avoid if you want to achieve your goals in the long term and have long-term success also. In case you would like to support me, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. And now let's jump into the topic of today's video. Number 1 that I see that is incredibly crucial but so common actually nowadays is the topic perfectionism. I see so many people out there, ambitious people, that suffer actually from perfectionism. I can't call it in a different way or say it in a different way. They suffer from it because they think it's important that they stay motivated and that they want to give the best and they want to achieve and their best and be on the highest level. And that's all fine. But the thing is, you have to realize perfectionism is simply an illusion. It's not possible. You can't compete on the same level in every match or in every competition. It's impossible. It's gonna vary. So sometimes you might reach 85% of your, let's say, best or peak performance. The next day it's maybe 89%, and the day after it's only 69%. So it's a little bit, imagine you would have 10 glasses standing next to each other, and you have different levels of water in there. So the glass is not always 100% full. And it's the same with your abilities, it's the same with your performance. And as long as you think and maybe believe you have to achieve perfectionism, the longer it's going to take you to actually achieve your goals, simply because the pressure is too high. And most of the people can't handle that pressure. And as long as you think or you believe you have to achieve perfectionism, it's holding you back even more from what you want to achieve, simply because you always see maybe a gap in your abilities, in your performance. You will never be happy. You can't enjoy what you do anymore, simply because you always see the glass is half empty and not half full. So I would highly recommend, and I do the same with my clients in the practice, forget about perfectionism. Either it's holding you back from achieving your goals simply because you always see what you're lacking in and you can't enjoy the way towards your goal or your vision. And at some point you might even lose motivation. You might even lose, the joy in what you do, and you quit in the end. And that's ridiculous, isn't it? I'm sure what you do, this is something that you really love. And for that you have to cherish it, you have to appreciate it, you have to appreciate the time you can spend in your sport, for example, the training, the competition. But if you put pressure on yourself to an extent that is not healthy, because you have the feeling you need to be even better or you have to do more and it needs to be perfect, then you can just simply forget about it. And the other thing about perfectionism is many people, they don't even start due to perfectionism because they think first the perfect moment needs to arrive. The circumstances need to be perfect. I need to have the perfect setting. I need to have the perfect weather conditions. I need to have the perfect coach. I need to have the perfect business partner. Whatever it is, forget about it. You'll never start. Never, ever. And in the meantime, the people around you, they have realized that they simply need to start. First step, and then comes the second step, and then comes the third step. And then by also making mistakes, failures, they can learn from that and improve. So they come even closer, let's say, to perfectionism. And others, they don't even start because they think it needs to be the perfect setting. Otherwise, it's not worth it, or it's too difficult, or it's too far away, or it's too expensive, whatever excuses they find. So I would highly recommend, make the first step, get started, make mistakes, learn from them, see them simply as information, learn from them, improve, and then move on. And when you move on the way, by producing mistakes and by taking step by step or going step by step, you're going to come closer towards your goals anyway. But there's nothing like perfectionism, so forget about that. Instead, enjoy the moment, enjoy what you can do and what you're doing, have fun and learn, and that's it. The second thing that is also connected some kind with perfectionism is that I see in the sports world regularly is this having not enough patience and not being able to wait for progress or for success. So this short-term thinking, this short-term mindset. This is something we learn this from society also. So we have the feeling we get this also we get educated in that we can say everything needs to go super fast and super quick, and we need to get results overnight. Ideally, I want to become a millionaire within 4 weeks, or I want to become a famous football player within 1 year, something like that. It's all realistic, nothing else. And all these people out there that tell you that you can do this in the short term, it's simply they just want to sell their products and their services, nothing else. So if you want to be truly successful, you have to bear in mind this takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of energy, a lot of work, setbacks, maybe in sports injuries, even some defeats, some heavy defeats, painful moments. And this is part of it. The problem is when you go on YouTube and you, for example, and you look up maybe some videos from some sports superstars, let's say in tennis, in soccer, in basketball, and you only see the best moments of their career, for example, or the best moments of a match, a game, but you don't see the story behind it. You don't see the hassle they had. You don't see the stony path they had to go on the way to where they are now, maybe. And that's the sad thing about it, actually. So we get the idea, or we could get the idea, that everything is super easy and simple, and either you can do it or you can't. Either you're talented or you're not talented. Either you have the abilities or you don't have the abilities. And there's so many talkers out there that tell you, for example, that you can't achieve what you are looking for, what you're dreaming of. Don't listen to people like that. Probably they have no idea, or maybe they're even jealous because they didn't have the guts to go the stony path. So if you want to go the stony path and you're willing to also to suffer and to, let's say, overcome challenges, setbacks, defeats, injuries, everything what I mentioned already before, then you are made for becoming really, really successful. And it doesn't matter in which area of life it is. If it's in sports, if it's in business, if it's in your hobby, if it's in a relationship. So everything needs a long-term approach if we truly want to be successful. So rule number 2, please forget about short-term approach. Think in the long term, and that gives you also the strength and the resilience to stay committed, to stay motivated, to have the willpower over a long term. Also to have the ability to overcome pain, maybe in training, but maybe also difficult situation in your career where you are not playing regularly, maybe in your team, or you're in ice hockey, for example, you're in the third or fourth line. So you need to be patient. keep on working, be diligent, be focused, and then work on the process. And then you're going to get your results in one or the other way. We don't always get the results straight away. Most of the times we don't get them right away. So we need to be patient. We need to first invest. First we have to put in some input until we get out some output, let's say the success. And that's the process. So enjoy the ride, and also enjoy and tell yourself the difficult moments are the ones where you grow the most, not only as an athlete, but also as a person, as a character. And the more often you overcome difficult moments, the more resilient you're going to be. So it's going to be easier for you to handle difficult situations, difficult moments in your life, in sports, in your career. But this will give you a lot of confidence, a lot of strength. And that's what it needs. But you can only achieve this if you have this long-term approach and not a short-term mindset. The third thing that I identify, and which I think is super dangerous also regarding mindset, especially in sports or in a career, is this feeling of I know everything. Because, I mean, I have already achieved a couple of things. I'm already on a very decent level in whatever I do in my sport, in my career. Or I have already had some good successes, or maybe outstanding successes. So we are confident. People like that are confident. They believe in themselves. But the problem, what I see there is, most of the time they don't manage to be successful over a long period of time, simply because they fall back over time. The others around them overtake them, and that are the ones that are open for new inputs, for maybe changes, for adjustments in whatever, in the technique maybe, or in the way you do your sport, in the way you work on your mindset, so your mental strength, or your physical abilities, your physical strength. If we have the feeling we are actually the hero and we are the best, this is the moment where you have actually already lost. Because this mindset kills your performance over time. So the others that are open, they are open for new inputs, they are open to learn new things and work on themselves. Yeah, they're going to be, in the long run, definitely more successful than the one who thinks that he knows everything and nobody out there can give him an advice simply because he knows it already. So why should you give me an advice if I'm the best or if I'm better than you? But it doesn't work like that. Simply because when we talk to other people, try to be open and try to learn from everyone and see what they say. Listen more than you talk. That's also a very crucial point. So the more you listen, the more you can learn. Doesn't mean that the person can, let's say, doesn't mean that every person around you is going to give you some great advice. That's not the point. But if you're open also for learning, open for input, or for some different perspectives, you can then filter and you can choose what you say, what you think brings you forward, and what maybe gives you an advantage over your competitors. Reflect on some of the most successful athletes we've ever seen, for example, in my sport, in tennis. Let's say a Djokovic, Roger Federer, or Rafael Nadal. What do they all have in common? Even in a high age, or in their mid-30s, when they were still playing. I mean, Djokovic is still playing, but the other two, they quit in the meantime. But what did they have in common, and what did they do till the end of their career, and what Djokovic is still doing? They were open for new inputs. So they they looked from time to time for some new coaches or some other they worked on new tactical or technical aspects in their game. So they didn't think at some point, hey, now I'm the holy grail, more or less. I'm the king of the game, and I'm the number one. I've won all the Grand Slams and everything. So who the hell should be able to give me now some additional advice? Because I have achieved everything you can achieve in my sports, and that's it. But that was their biggest strength from my point of view, and that they were always open, and you could see over the years, and you could see also over the years how they developed their game. Otherwise, the others around them, like if one of them would have had this mindset of I know everything, the others would have overtaken that person within a few months, for sure. Because this is such a high level what they've been playing, and if they hadn't been working on themselves, on their skills constantly, they would have fallen back. So that's something I highly recommend in case you identify this maybe in yourself from time to time, that you have the feeling, well, actually, I'm a superstar in my sport, then congratulations. But still, if you want to stay the superstar, then you should make sure that you stay open for input from outside, from other people, maybe from or from another coach, whatever. Learn from them, learn as much as you can, keep on working on your game, improving, and then you're going to stay successful. So you won't become only successful maybe for a few months or a few years, but maybe even for a decade or something. You can be one of the tops in your star. So what do you think now of these 3 topics that I identify as incredibly dangerous as a mindset, especially in sports or in business? Let me know in the comment section. And maybe you also want to share some additional mindset approaches or perspectives that you have identified with yourself or people around you. Share them with me in the comment section. So that's it for today, guys. Now it's time for tennis. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did so, please hit the like button. Subscribe to my channel. I would be very, very grateful. See you in one of my next videos, and have a great day. Bye.